Here we've got a video about outdoor play, and it's beneficial in a number of ways for physical, emotional health and well-being, and all the children will benefit from being in the great outdoors where it's a more natural environment, feel the sun on their face, feel the wind in their hair. It's a true multisensory experience. So Ginny's got a sensory tray in front of her, and so Ginny's just going to explore the tray. We've got natural objects that are quite different to the normal plastic toys that you get in the indoor environment, and they feel quite different. Each item's different. So we've got feathers and we've got some pebbles, and then in other trays we've got the twigs and we've got leaves. So Ginny's just going to explore it to begin with in our own time, and you just watch the child having fun, feeling the different items. And obviously each pebble feels different, so you've got all the different concept developments such as hard, soft, you've got heavy, light. So each item feels very different. And then if Ginny's feeling a bit more reluctant to explore a particular item, you're noticing she's only going for the pebbles and pushing the feathers aside a bit, you could actually just put a feather just in her reach and seeing if she can just touch it with a little finger at first so it's not too scary. And then if she's quite reluctant, you could put your hands underneath hers, do it in a hand under hand way so that I'm feeling the feather first, it's less scary for Ginny, and then gradually you can get Ginny to touch it, and then perhaps move your hands away when she's feeling a little bit more secure with it.
These trays are a really good way to bring items to a child if they've got limited mobility, or if they don't really feel very adventurous and they're a bit reluctant to go out and explore very far afield. Another thing you can do is if you've been for a walk in the woods or a day on the beach or wherever you've been, you can collect some items and keep them in bags or boxes to remember the day with. So you can have all sorts of the things that you think your child noticed the most and that got the most enjoyment out of. You can collect them and bring them back with you and keep them to refer back to the day we walked in the woods. And you can have stories around that as well. If you want to, you can make sound effects by recording them on a phone, but otherwise you can buy quite cheaply some of these sort of devices that give you different sound effects that you can put on while you're talking about the experience that you've had that day, or in a week's time you can refer back to it. Next bag for our beach theme. Right, okay. If you've been to the beach, again, you can collect some of the things that you've used on the beach that day. Also, we've got things like sunscreen, which is often a really nice smell. It reminds you of the day you spent at the seaside. Use the sunscreen you used on the day because they all smell different, and you can have that handy. You can also reproduce the sea breeze if you haven't got one. And again, you could use different sound effects, or you can record your own on the day using your mobile phone. We've got pebbles as well, and we can have the beach ball that we played with, whatever items. You can even perhaps have some ice cream. Mm-hmm. And that's all to remember the same event a few weeks later. These are some different ideas that you can, of things you can hang in the trees in your garden. This one's just bought commercially, but they're not very expensive, visual. This one has lovely sound. This one here is a homemade one with different tactile and visual effects. And this one over here is just a scarf with some glittery beads in that will reflect the light and move in the breeze. Over there in the other tree we've got two other scarves that give different effects, and again they would blow in the breeze. And then this one here is another homemade one, different tactile qualities, some reflective, some very rough textured, some shiny and smooth. You can buy wind chimes like these, or you can make your own. We've done some on family days where we use old pieces of cutlery, tin cans, anything that will make a noise, attached to sticks and tied in the tree. They're quite effective as well.
These are good for all of our children. For the children that are more independently mobile, they can walk between all of the hanging objects and feel all of the different textures. And then for the children that are less mobile, they can lie down on a beanbag or a blanket, wherever they're comfortable, and you can drape the items and bring them to them so that they can feel them moving in the breeze and moving over their body.